Well, good day, or in my case, good morning. Isn't it beautiful out here? Loving it. You got like a beautiful sunrise coming up. And today on this video, I am bringing you a review of the Hoka Zinal 3. A nice update, although in full transparency, I have not ran in version 1 or version 2. The Zinal 3 seems to be a pretty good shoe in the Hoka lineup, and it's one that, spoiler alert, I've really enjoyed. I'll be talking about the overall build quality and comfort, the performance and the value, maybe compare it to a couple other shoes, share my honest thoughts and candid experience in the Hoka Zinal 3. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and of course, if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. Consider joining the channel membership. Starts at only $1 a month. Just goes to support the channel so I can continue to inform and inspire you. So now on with the video, on with the view, and on with these beautiful morning trails. Voiceover Chad, why don't you tell us about some of the specs and features of the Hoka Zinal 3?
Hoka states, when fast trails require fancy footwork, the Zinal 3 is refreshed and ready to rip. Recrafted with a supercritical EVA foam midsole for a boost in energy return and a revised 5mm lug pattern that's ready to bite. It's more aggressive than ever. When you're shaving off seconds on techie terrain, the Zinal 3 is the tool for the job. As for those specs and features, you get a lightweight Leno weave upper, a stretchy vamp, which is across the toes, a gusseted tongue, nitrogen-infused EVA midsole, a 4-foot protective film, although it's not listed on the website, so simply observed. Hoka's proprietary rubber with 5mm lugs, 30 to 32 millimeters of heel stack, and 25 to 27 millimeters of toe stack for that 5mm drop, weighing in at only 253 grams or 8.94 ounces in a men's US size 10 and a US MSRP of $150. I should also note that Hoka did send me these shoes for the purpose of review, but all thoughts and opinions are strictly my own. Chad, back over to you on the trails.
My stomach keeps growling. I think I'm hungry. I need to finish up this run and get home and have some, I don't know, eggs cooked in some bacon grease, some toast with some butter on it. That sounds amazing. All right, you didn't join this video to hear me talk about food, but I am here to talk about the Zinal 3, starting with the build quality and the comfort. At this point, I have put in about 40 miles in the Zinal 3, with another 10 to 15 of that being just undocumented, unstravad walking and hiking. And the Zinal 3 was a shoe that I had high hopes and high expectations of. The Zinal 3 exceeded my expectations, and if you can't tell by the smile on my face, I like this shoe. So build quality and comfort, overall, I'm pleased with the build quality. It seems to be probably built a little bit better, almost because it's simpler, it makes it better than the Speedgoat 7, another shoe that I enjoyed, but wasn't perfect. And despite the Zinal 3 being a slightly lower stacked, closer to the ground feeling shoe, I'm very pleased with the comfort. It's an agile shoe. It's one that gives you immediate feedback of what's going on underfoot, but offers enough protection as well. So starting with that upper, I mentioned that it's a simple shoe, and it is. There's not a lot of unnecessary frills going on with that upper, or really anywhere in the shoe. That upper is lightweight and breathable and just wraps around your foot nice and snugly. This is not a wide fitting shoe. It definitely fits close around your foot. But one thing that makes this shoe even more comfortable is that stretchy vamp across the toes, across the front of the toe box there. Just helps to add a little bit of dynamic fit without allowing your foot to move unnecessary. Now again, this is not a wide fitting shoe. The toe box is not wide, definitely more narrow, but that stretchy vamp allows your toes to kind of just move a little bit as necessary. Helps keep things comfortable. I really like that very small and subtle touch in the design and functionality of the shoe. You get enough padding around the ankle and the heel. There's been no rubbing or redness or blisters back there, or really anywhere in the shoe for that matter. The length of the shoe feels really good. My feet don't feel like they're jamming up against the front of the toe box on the descents, and I feel that it holds and grabs onto my foot securely, whether I'm bombing the descents, sprinting up the hills, or just trying to stay stable on undulating trails. The tongue is gusseted on both sides of the shoe, holds that tongue in place, and then it's lightly padded, not a lot, but again, it keeps things simple and comfortable at the same time. And lastly, on the upper, nothing fancy with those laces, but they do stay tied. All right, moving down the shoe into the midsole. That nitrogen infused EVA midsole is very nice. I like it a lot. There's not a lot of stack underfoot, but it feels really good while offering feedback and enough protection underfoot as well. You also get, although it's not documented anywhere on the website or in the specs that I could come across, but you do kind of get a rock protect film in the forefoot between the midsole and that outsole rubber. It helps protect your foot against the harshest of rocks and other protrusions, but it doesn't add a lot of weight, and it helps maintain that agility. It helps keep things comfortable. And then that outsole rubber, pleased with the quality of it. It's not a Vibram Mega Grip or anything like that. It's just Hoka's proprietary formula rubber. 5mm lugs. I'm really pleased with it. It's kind of a web design, so it helps reduce weight by not having rubber in places that you don't really need it, but it still offers enough protection while giving you good grip. So overall build quality, again, I'm very pleased with it. Great individual components without overcomplicating anything, but it all comes together in a package that is really well made and suits each other well. Build quality is going to get a thumbs up for me. Comfort also gets a thumbs up. Again, there's not much to this shoe. It's pretty simple, really, when you break it down. It doesn't have all of the creature comforts, you know, with an extra plush tongue and extra padding in the heel and extra thickness in that midsole. But that's not what this shoe is about. And despite that, my feet are comfortable. I can go much longer than I realize in this shoe. I will say that if you're looking for a high stack or higher stack, a more plush experience, this is not the shoe to consider. But if you're looking for something a little more minimalistic, a little more nimble and agile while remaining comfortable and secure, you know, getting that good feeling, that good wrap where the shoe really just kind of becomes one with your foot and you can just focus on the trail ahead, this is definitely one to consider. But I'm starting to get a little bit into the performance. Let's move on with this run, eat a gel, enjoy the trails a little bit. I can see the sun hitting the side of the mountain there, so we'll be entering the sun here shortly. It's a beautiful morning, having a great time out here. Oh, and there is the sun. Beautiful. So now I'll be making my way up to the top of this hill. There's a whole bunch of switchbacks. Hopefully I don't get out of breath because I've got a few things to share with you about my experience and the performance of the Hoka Zinal 3. So one of the things that I really like about the Zinal 3 is just the overall nimble feeling. It's one of those shoes that is nice to slip your feet into. It feels lightweight and I feel like I can just dance around on the trail. I feel like my foot is adapting to just the differences in the trail and the terrain and the rocks and the roots, everything that's going on underfoot. I can adapt to the trail, I can stay nimble, I can stay quick. That's the other thing I like about this shoe. I can run fast if I want to, but I can also just keep it casual and clock those miles in. And I alluded to it you get that good ground contact, ground feel. I feel connected to the trail, but not at the expense of being overly stimulated or unprotected underfoot. There is kind of that rock film underneath the midsole, between the midsole and the outsole rubber, and I'm noticing that it doesn't take away from the feeling underfoot, but I do feel protected. There are a number of rocks that definitely would have kind of protruded up through that midsole and into the foot and would have been otherwise very uncomfortable. Another thing that I like is that the shoe feels lightweight. It is lightweight. So like how lightweight and breathable that upper is. I haven't tested this in water. Future Chad here. On the note of water and water shedding, I just remembered that I did have the shoe out in a rainstorm. Shoe got actually really wet, but it dried out really fast. That was on a trail run. So while I may not have done a river or stream crossing, I do again feel that this shoe handles water and wetness really effectively without over absorbing all of that water. So there you have it. Chad, back over to you. I also like that stretchy material across the top of your toes in that vamp area. Just makes the shoe feel a little more adaptable and agile. Now, moving down the shoe a little bit, and a couple other things that I like. I do like the new nitrogen infused EVA midsole. It's soft when you want it, dynamic, kind of bouncy, rewarding when you need it. It's not overly bouncy like some of the other really lightweight, super critical foams, but considering what it is, I'm very pleased with it. It's given me a very rewarding experience that I've come to really enjoy. I like that there's not a lot of bulk in that midsole, but I still feel stable on the trails. And then that outsole rubber, it's nothing fancy, but the legs are deep enough to dig into all kinds of terrain. And frankly, that Hoka formula grips really well. Very, very pleased with it. Even when the trails and the rocks are wet, it still does a very good job at gripping into whatever's underfoot. So I'm actually surprised with that outsole rubber. It exceeded my expectations there. So overall synopsis of that performance and the experience. It's a great shoe. I've genuinely loved running in this shoe, and I've looked forward to running in it again and again and again. I could see this being my daily trainer, but also the shoe that I choose when I want to pick up the pace a little bit more, when I'm doing that interval training or doing some hill sprints. It's a nimble and agile experience. The shoe offers nothing that you don't need. There's no bulk or unnecessary frills to it. And that's largely one of the things that makes this shoe so good. But I will add, if you're looking for more of a plush or a slightly higher stack feeling underfoot, this is not the shoe to get. It definitely, even though it advertises 30 to 32 millimeters of heel stack, it definitely feels like you're closer to the ground. And overall, that is the experience that I genuinely like. I find it very rewarding and refreshing, but it probably isn't the right choice of shoe to use on those really long ultra distances. But for most of your training runs, I think this shoe will be very rewarding. At least it has been for me. Okay, let's get up to the top of this little hill here, and then maybe enjoy some nice rolling quick descents, and then I'll talk about the value and compare it to a couple other shoes. that is a fun section. A little bit of technical bits, some flowy sections. Just fun to send it down that hill. Tuck in behind the ridge here and start a little bit of an ascent up to the top over there. But while I make my way up, talk about the value of the Zinal 3 and compare it to a couple other shoes. Oh, there we go. The sun is now behind the ridge. The Hoka Zinal 3 has a US MSRP of $150. Now, I think that is a competitive price to pay, and it's a fair price to ask. It competes with a few other shoes, both in stack and underfoot feel and performance and price. So first shoe I thought of was by Adidas, actually two shoes, the Agravic 4 and the Agravic Speed 2. The Speed 2 coming in at $165. The Agravic 4 is $150, $145. I don't remember. I'll put that on the screen now. Those are both shoes that I frankly really enjoyed, and I feel like the Zinal 3 kind of sits between those two shoes, with the Agravic 4 offering a little bit more understack feeling. Might be the better shoe for slightly longer distances, but you get a little bit more protection in the Zinal 3 compared to the Speed 2. But the Speed 2 being even more lightweight feeling, a little bit quicker, that Light Strike Pro material being awesome, but it's not to take away from the experience in the Zinal 3. It may not be quite as quick of a shoe, but I do feel that the Zinal 3 is probably the better overall daily trainer. A couple other shoes that I also recently reviewed, Innovate Trailfly version 2 and Trailfly Speed version 2. Those shoes feel very well connected to the trail, a little bit heavier underfoot, and a midsole that is slightly more dense. Overall, I like the Zinal 3 more than those two shoes. So compared to all of those shoes, I mentioned it, but I feel that the Zinal 3 is probably your more solid daily training option to choose from. And it competes at that $150 price point. But for $150, you can also get the amazing Salomon Genesis 2. That shoe has a little bit more stack, also is lightweight, and a lot of fun to run in. Review coming to the channel soon. But the Hoka Zinal 3 is a great addition to the Hoka lineup. I think they need a shoe like this, and people want a shoe like this. I've enjoyed the shoe, and those are my thoughts on the value and comparing it to a couple other shoes. Let me know if there's a different shoe that you would compare it to. Let me know if $150 is what you would be willing or have spent on this shoe. Have you bought this shoe? Or is there a different shoe altogether that you would rather spend your hard-earned money on? Let me know. Drop a comment down below. All right, I'm almost to the top of this ridge, and then we'll wrap up this video. Always a good climb. So now let me know if you have any questions about this shoe, or if there's something I forgot to mention. Drop a comment down below and I'll be sure to give you a good reply. I've really enjoyed my time and my experience in the Zinal 3, and if it were up to me, this would not be the last time that I run in this shoe. I've got a lot more shoes to review, more gear and more content coming to the channel, so if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. And once again, thank you to everyone who continues to show up, watch my videos, support me. I love it. I'm grateful for you. Thank you so much. All right, wrapping this video up as we always do. Remember to be consistent, express gratitude, and enjoy every mile, as I am today in the Hoka Zinal 3. I'll see you on the next video. Bye now.